Some people claim demons only exist in stories or in ancient religious texts. But there are people around the world who swear they have seen them with their own eyes. Not shadows, not nightmares. Something far more disturbing. These people had no history of hallucinations. Many of them were ordinary workers, students, and parents. Yet what they experienced left them shaken for the rest of their lives. Tonight, we're going to hear true stories from people who claim they encountered something evil. And by the end of this video, you may start wondering if demons are closer than we think. Story 1, the thing sitting on the bed. Daniel had never believed in demons. He was a quiet university student who spent most of his nights studying or playing video games in his apartment. Nothing about his life was unusual until one night in October. It was around 3:15 a.m. when Daniel suddenly woke up. He didn't know why. The room was dark except for the faint orange glow from a streetlight leaking through the window. At first, everything seemed normal. But then he realized something strange. He couldn't move. Not his arms, not his legs, not even his head. His entire body felt frozen. Daniel tried to speak, but no sound came out. That's when he felt it. A sudden weight pressing down on the mattress beside him. Slowly, very slowly, the bed sank as if someone had just sat down. Daniel's heart started pounding violently. He was certain someone had broken into his apartment. But when he forced his eyes to look to the side, he saw something that didn't look human. A tall shape was sitting at the edge of his bed. Its body looked almost like a person, but its skin was dark, almost black, like it absorbed the light around it. Its arms were unnaturally long, and its head tilted slowly toward him. Daniel could feel it staring at him. Then the figure leaned closer, close enough for Daniel to see its face. But there was no face, only deep darkness where its features should have been. Then it spoke, not out loud, but directly inside his mind. 3 words, "You are mine." Daniel suddenly regained control of his body and sat up violently. The room was empty. The weight on the bed was gone. Something terrified him even more. On the mattress beside him, there was a deep handprint indentation, as if something had really been sitting there. Daniel moved out of that apartment 2 weeks later, but he says he still wakes up at night, feeling like something is watching him from the darkness. Story 2, the voice in the church basement. Maria had been working at a small church for 3 years. Her job was simple. She cleaned the building after evening services. The church was old, quiet, and usually empty by the time she finished. One night, she stayed later than usual. It was nearly 11 p.m. The entire building was silent. As Maria vacuumed the hallway, she suddenly heard something. A voice. Soft.
You are not alone.
At first, she assumed someone had returned to the church. But when she stopped the vacuum, the voice continued. It was coming from the basement. The strange thing was, the basement was always locked. Only the pastor had the key. Maria walked slowly toward the basement door. The whispering became louder. It sounded like several voices speaking at once, but she couldn't understand what they were saying. Her curiosity slowly turned into fear. Then she heard something else. Her name. Maria? She froze. No one should have known she was there. The voice came again, but this time it sounded wrong, almost like something was trying to imitate a human voice. Maria, come downstairs. Her heart began racing. The basement door slowly creaked open on its own, and the whispering suddenly stopped. The staircase below was completely dark. Maria ran out of the church and never came back. The next morning, the pastor checked the basement. Nothing was inside, but the lock on the basement door had been broken from the inside. Story 3, the child who spoke in another voice. In a small town in Ohio, a couple named Mark and Rachel began noticing strange behavior from their 6-year-old son. At first, it was small things. Their son would talk to someone in his room,
Honey,
even when he was
who are you
alone.
talking
When they asked who he was
to?
speaking to,
My
he would simply
friend.
say, "The man in the corner." But there was never anyone there. Then the nightmares began. Every night, their son woke up screaming. He claimed the man was getting closer, standing nearer to his bed each night. Eventually, the parents installed a night camera in the room. One night, the camera recorded something disturbing. Their son suddenly sat up in bed, but he wasn't awake. His eyes were still closed. Then he started speaking, but it didn't sound like his voice. It was deeper, rough, almost like an adult male speaking through a child. The voice said something chilling. "This body belongs to me now." The parents rushed into the room. The
They
child
are
collapsed back
coming
onto the bed.
for you.
And when he woke up, he remembered nothing. After that night, the family moved away. They never spoke publicly about what happened.
What's happening?
But the father later admitted one thing. The voice on the recording
Help me!
did not belong to his son. Story 4, the shadow that followed him home. Kevin worked the night shift as a security guard in an office building. His job was simple. Walk through empty floors, check doors, and watch the cameras. One night around 2 a.m., Kevin noticed something strange on the security monitors. A tall shadow moving down one of the hallways, but the hallway lights were on. There was nothing that could cast a shadow like that. Kevin assumed someone had broken into the building, so he grabbed his flashlight and went to investigate. When he reached the hallway, it was empty, but the temperature suddenly dropped. Kevin said it felt like the air had turned ice cold. Then he heard footsteps behind him, slow, heavy. He turned around quickly. No one was there. Then he felt something brush past
Who's
his
there?
shoulder, like someone had walked right
Show
through him.
yourself!
Kevin quit his job 2 days later, But he says the worst part came after he left the building, because sometimes, late at night, he still sees that same shadow standing in the corner of his bedroom, watching him. Story 5, The Thing in the Mirror. Sarah had just moved into a new apartment. Everything seemed normal during the first week, until one night while brushing her teeth, she noticed something strange in the bathroom mirror. For a split second, she thought she saw someone standing behind her. But when she turned around, the room was empty. She shrugged it off as her imagination. But the next night it happened again. This time the reflection stayed longer, long enough for Sarah to clearly see it. A tall, dark figure standing directly behind her, its eyes glowing faintly red. But when she turned around, nothing was there. The third night, something even worse happened. Sarah looked into the mirror, and the figure was already there, standing right behind her reflection. But this time, it moved. The figure slowly leaned closer to her ear, and in the mirror, she saw its mouth open. But the whisper didn't come from the reflection. It came from right behind her. I've been here long. Sarah moved out of that apartment the next day. She refuses to talk about it now, but she says she will never keep a mirror facing her bed again. Closing segment stories like these are easy to dismiss. Some people say they're just nightmares, sleep paralysis, or tricks of the mind. But the people who experience them insist they were real. And what makes these stories even more disturbing is how similar they are. Across different countries, different cultures, different people who have never met each other. The descriptions are almost identical. Dark figures, whispers in the night, things watching from corners. So the question is, are demons simply part of human imagination? Or are there things in our world that we were never meant to see? And if these stories are true, how many people out there do you are encountering them right now alone, in the dark, listening to something, whispering their name?